Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Yay, we're here. Um, Thank you for being here. My name is Talamir. I am a PM in the Microsoft 365 Security and Compliance team. We're going to talk to you about two very exciting products that we announced just yesterday, Insider Risk Management and Communication Compliance. And my colleague Christoph is going to be coming up afterwards to do that. So I'll spend about 10 minutes on insider risk management, and he'll do 10 minutes on the other one. So we had a bunch of slides, but we're just going to get right into the demo and do that. So this is the new insider risk management dashboard. On it, you get a quick overview of things like your alerts that need your attention, cases that you might be working on, your team might be working on in your organization, users that are in scope in terms of them coming in our orchestration for risk calculation, and last certainly not least, policies and how they're behaving in terms of fidelity, true positives, false positives, things like that. Now, one really important thing I want to highlight on this view is that the usernames are all anonymized, which is a feature you can toggle on and off, as you see on the top right. And that's done not just for privacy reasons, but also to help you control bias in case you end up seeing your colleague, your friend, or your manager on the page. So let's look at a typical scenario. So let's say I am an analyst at Contoso Electronics working on insider risk management. I'll go over to the alerts page and I'll see a bunch of alerts in the system that need my attention. You get a bunch of stats at the top that we can ignore. I click on the alert, and I get a quick overview, including the policies that ended up matching for that specific alert, as well as a profile, which in this case is completely useless because it's all anonymized data. Unless if you had that toggle set to non-anonymized, then we can pull in data from Azure Active Directory and show you all the information there. The interesting bit is going to be under the user activity tab. What this is a sequence of events that the system identified as being possibly suspicious. And in order to see why, let's kind of dig into this a little bit. So this is a user that came on the 20th of October, downloaded 113 files from a SharePoint site, including files that had banking information that we got using DLP sensitive type matches, as well as 54 documents that had information protection sensitive classification on it, a label on it known as internal only. Then the user proceeded to copy those files to a USB device on an endpoint. And then for good measures, I guess, they wanted to print a couple of documents as well, in this case, 10 files that they printed. And then finally, they came in the next day, the 21st of October, which is a Monday in this case, and they submitted their resignation. They're leaving the company, and they're out the door. Now, the HR signals are kind of be coming in because we'll actually ship with an HR connector as a part of this product that you can use to hook up your HR system and pull in signals like termination data for enrichment of these alerts. Now, I could choose to confirm this case and turn this into a formal investigation, but in the interest of time, let's look at some cases that are already in the system today. So you go over to cases, you see a bunch of cases in the system, including some that have closed off, and two that are active in the system. Now, when you think about insider threats, there's generally two types of threats, generally speaking. There is the accidental or inadvertent, and then there is the malicious ones. So let me give you examples of both of those using these two examples here. So we'll do the accidental one first. So that's 893. I click on that. I get a quick overview of the risk score, which is relatively low in this case, but it's worth investigating. The interesting bit is going to be on this user activity page. Just to orient everybody towards this, what this is a curated set of insights or events that the system identifies in an effort to help you make a timely and informed risk management decision. So what you see across the bottom is on the x-axis is time, what you see across the side or the y-axis is risk, and plotted against those two dimensions are these different types of events like copying files, downloading files, sharing files, things like that. If you scroll down, you can also get a chronological view in which I can see that this is a user that came in on a Monday, submitted their resignation, then they proceeded to copy 245 files from a SharePoint site, and then copied a bunch of those to a USB device. If I go over to case notes, what you'll see is my colleagues have already started this investigation. They have confirmed the observation that I've already made, and in this case, already engaged HR as a proxy for the business, who's checked with the business and confirmed the fact that the activity that we observed is in line with expected duties of that employee's transition. So it looks like this is a benign case. But does anybody recall anything suspicious that happened here or something of a concern? They resigned, that's definitely one. They also copied a bunch of files to the USB device. And if that device is misplaced or not handled properly, you can have a case of an accidental insider in this case. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to send this employee a notice in the form of a friendly reminder about their confidentiality obligations as they depart. It can even be a checklist of things that they need to do, and I can even CC their manager. So this is a very important sort of principle in this solution, that we don't always assume negative intent. Intent is, you can't just look at intent by looking at a bunch of signals. So that's a case of trying to prevent it by using a positive approach, by actually sending out a notice to an employee and getting them to understand what they need to do to handle your data correctly. Now let's quickly go over and take a look at an example of a malicious case. So in the interest of time, I've already got that opened up. And I see something radically different in this case. Does anybody see, so what do you guys see as being radically different in this case compared to the last one? More dots. That's one way to put it. There's a lot more dots. Or what we like to call bubbles. There's a lot of bubbles on this thing. What else? Sorry? More variety as well. There's a lot of diversity of things that are going on that we're going to dig into. You'll also notice a higher risk score in this case, 91. You'll also notice a higher risk score. I had that thing collapse down. So it's 90 out of 100. And the third thing, actually, the most important thing in this case is that this is a case of a repeat offender. And you know that because of these past violations that are denoted by these past insider risk cases that are closed annotations on this view. So this was a case that I can dig into. I can look at the chronological view as well, but because there's so much going on in this case, it's better to look at in this graphical view up here. And let's dig into some of these things. So let me zoom in with this slider into this June timeframe, in which I see that we detected offensive language in communication. So this is an out-of-the-box classifier that M365 ships with as part of their Microsoft Information Protection Suite that you can use to identify things like this. So in this case, offensive language is detected, and subsequently an alert was fired, and it looks like a case was open. And in this case, it was case 123, possible HR violation, and the investigation confirmed that violation, and action was taken in the form of a notice and a code of conduct training that was enforced on the user. If we zoom out, we can also see there's a second case of a possible data leak, which was also confirmed. This guy didn't learn his lesson, and this time a second notice was sent to this individual. Right? And now let's look at what's happening more recently with this user. So if I zoom in, I can see this guy over a course of just this past weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, downloaded hundreds of files, including files that had confidential labels on it, files that had credit cards in it, and then proceeded to copy all that information to a USB device. I mean, this guy's on a mission. He's clearly out to do something. And then finally came in the next day and submitted his resignation. I shouldn't say his, it could be her, I don't know, it's completely anonymous. To submit their resignation and leave the company. Now, the other thing we could do as part of the investigation process is if you have the appropriate permissions in your organization, you can click on these links. Let's say 219 files that were downloaded to a USB device that had that confidential label on it. We can actually show you those files if you have the permission. And then you can scroll down as part of that investigation and look at them. Let's say you came across this one that has this ominous confidential right on the file name. You click on that, and let's say this is the smoking gun. This was that spec for an unreleased product that Contoso Electronics was working on. I can't have this leave my organization. And let's say this is all the information I need. At this point, I'm not sending this guy any more notices. I think he's got enough notices. So what I'm going to do now is open an investigation and escalate this for an employee investigation. And what that does is packages up all the evidence that we have gathered as part of this case, as part of this system, all the documents that we collected, builds a set out of that and passes it over to e-discovery so the lawyers can take over from that point and do what they need to do in terms of law enforcement escalation or litigation. So that's a quick overview. I'm going to hand it over to Christoph.
Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Great. Thank you. So the second solution is all about, again, mitigating insider risk. And specifically, so the first one that Tala was mentioning, it's in private preview. If you come by the booth, we'll give you the link to sign up for the private preview. This one is in public preview. It's what we call communication compliance. And there's really two use cases that customers are using this tool for. The first one is all about monitoring for code of conduct violations. So things like discriminations, harassment, threats, and more. This is the first use case, and that'll be my first demo. The second popular use case is all about regulatory compliance. I don't know how many of you in the audience are from a regulated industry, either financial services, healthcare, educations, or everything in between, but potentially, whether you're in the US, in Europe, in Canada, or elsewhere, there might be specific regulations where those regulations are making sure you've got some enforcement, some rule in place to make sure you don't violate whatever those rules are. So I may demo those two use cases in Microsoft 365. So like I said, this is in public preview, so rolling in a tenant. So by the time you go back in your office next week, you'll get access to this solution in your Microsoft 365 tenant. But here you get a homepage that shows you a bunch of dashboards and insights of what's going on in your tenant. One of the key new things that we've introduced, thanks to customer feedback such as yours, is give me the ability to be alerted when something bad happens. And again, if you think of the first use case that I'm going to be showing you, which is all about monitoring for harassment, my colleagues in human resources might not be in the compliance center all day. So this is a great way to say, hey, Christoph, or Cindy, or whoever is in monitoring this in HR, come in the office because there's something bad going on. So I'm alerted. I get alerts here. Another way I can get alerted is also through email. So here I'll show you the path. I click on an email. And I'm taking in this policy. So here we're using a policy called offensive language at Contoso. And all the monitoring we're doing is using machine language. And the reason we're using ML to monitor for those behavior is obviously some of those behaviors would be very hard to detect using keyword matches. So a couple of things I want to show. So first of all, you can see that this is communication compliance. So communication could be a form of email. It could be a chat in Teams. And like I show you in the second demo, it could also be third-party data. So in this case, we got two personas going back and forth. Now you can notice that the first string, there's no foul language in that first string. And what we're detecting is intent to harass. Whereas, for instance, the last string is intent to threaten someone. So those are some of the patterns we're looking in the back. To be precise, we're detecting harassment, we're detecting profanities, and we're detecting threat, whether it's threat to harm myself or threat to harm others. So you're getting an example there. So I see this, and probably the first thing I might do in this case is, let me get a little more context about this user. Similar to what Tala was mentioning, what's super important is this person a first-time offender, or is it a repeat offender? And based on whatever they did, plus that context, is going to help me, let's say I'm in the shoe in human resources, decide what do I need to do next. So I could say, maybe I'm going to give yet another notice to this person, so I can click on notify. I've already had some pre-configured templates. Patience, Christoph. That's what happens when you're doing a live demo. Let's wait one more second. Here we go. So I already got a pre-configured template where I can modify so this one is going to send an email. I can BCC and CC myself. I can modify the content of the email or use that standard template that I send to the individuals that are validated this use case. I can just hit send, and trust me, they will get an email. Again, think of this use case, first-time offender, it's okay, so it's a little slap on the wrist. In this case, in the email, I get a link to here's our company charter, here's the required training you got to do, so let's give it a second chance to the user, and hopefully they won't do it again. Did I click send? Anyway, so let me show you another use case, which is in this case, it's about monitoring to be compliant per regulations. So in this demo tenant, pretend this is a financial institution, and in the US there's this regulated body called FINRA, and there's specific guidelines in that industry that I need to abide for. So in this case, one of the things we need to look for is for a pattern of insider trading. So here in this policy, again, we're monitoring different communication types, including emails, including Teams, and also third-party data. So in this case, in the financial industry, one of the very common tools to execute trades is called Bloomberg Terminal. And with that tool comes the ability to do instant messages. So in this case, we're ingesting the data in Microsoft 365. So again, I can get that whole holistic view of all those patterns of potential abuse. Here, what I want to call your attention is I'm getting keyword highlighting. So in this policy, I'm detecting specific keywords. I think the next one, I'm also detecting regular expressions. So basically, the goal is, this is third-party data. We're reconstructing that in a conversation to save you time. And then we're highlighting either keywords or patterns. In this case, it could be credit card numbers, whatever you want, to really help you with the review. The next thing we're doing to really help with deciding what to do next is we've got this indicator that there's similar messages that got sent by the individuals over instant Bloomberg. So basically, we're using machine learning in the review to say it was similar messages that that person sent over whatever period of time. So instead of reviewing those messages over and over, in this case I only have 2, but it could be hundreds of messages, I can just flag those 2 messages and then take the next action. There was an indicator in the screen. Actually, I went too fast. So there's 2 messages that are similar. If I collapse that, I also see that that person is a repeat offender. They've been notified in the past. I've already escalated prior issues. So a combination of this context, the fact that they're validating again our policy with respect to, in this case, insider trading, is going to decide on another outcome. In this case, instead of sending yet another notice to this person, I'm going to hit escalate. What this does is the scenario is, pretend I'm a first-line analyst, and I see that pattern. I might need to re-escalate this behavior to someone higher up the food chain, higher up in authority, that then is going to decide is that person, should I then pass it on to the legal team? Should that person get fired, et cetera, et cetera. So in this case, automatically we give you a list of folks that are part of this review team. And for instance, I can pick Adele. I need to put in a justification. So I say repeat offender. Please handle. And then when I click escalate, what happens is Adele, in this case, she's going to get an email. Say, your colleague, Christoph, detected a repeat offender. And then in that email, she's going to have a link. When she clicks on that link, she's going to be taken to a very similar review experience, except her attention is precious, and she'll only see those items that get escalated to her. So in this case, I've escalated 2 items. She'll only get that view. So that concludes this second demo of showing you how to deal with, how to abide by your regulations and how to handle violations if violation occur. Now to wrap up, let me go back to slides. Number 6. So we've showed you 2 solutions to deal with insider risk. First one, insider risk management. Again, that's a solution we just announced yesterday in private preview. You should definitely sign up. The second one is communication compliance. Again, helping you mitigate that risk from your favorite employees. And that one is in public preview. And that leads us to, I think, the call to action slide, which is, oops. So sign up for the private preview of insider risk. Definitely get a demo. We got the booth is literally a couple 100 meters, actually not even 50 meters from here. If you get additional questions, if you want to dive deeper. And then if not, also look at the documentation we have for communication compliance. With that, thank you very much for your time, and enjoy Ignite.